Hello, good day. I'm honored to speak at the Libya Aviation Forum and Expo today. My name is Aukje Engel. I'm the CEO of Flight Tech Consultancy. I'm a Dutch entrepreneur. I'm a pilot, writer, columnist, aviation specialist, and mother of 3 children. My father was born in the Netherlands, my mother in Malaysia. The reason I'm giving you a little more detail is because there's always stories and details behind a person and the first impression. My father was a lawyer and my mother a physiotherapist. And I was raised with the idea to have a career and a family. Being a single child, I was fortunate to travel a lot and start flying lessons in 1980 at age 16. Because my father took me to air shows since I was little, I was in contact with aviation from a very young age. Today, I still have my pilot license and I fly regularly, my longest flight being 9 hours and 700 kilometers. Again, some detail to explain that with a glider aircraft you can fly long distance. In 2018, I founded Flight Tech Consultancy. The business is focused on aircraft insurance, consultancy to startups, and from 2024, aviation training. My team consists of 1 senior consultant based in South Africa, James Lee and Roberts, who you've met last year at your conference, 4 account managers and other staff based in the Netherlands, and a very nice intern, Jessica Koski, based in the United Kingdom. We serve the European market and the African continent, and we are hoping to start a South African branch in 2024. We have 1,100 clients, the majority being commercial drone sector clients. Our clients are private aircraft and drone owners, business owners of aircraft including electrical and hydrogen drones, flight clubs, flight schools, maintenance companies, pilots, aviation consultants and schools, aircraft manufacturers, training organizations, public schools with drone programs, foundations and hangar owners. Today I want to explain a little bit about liability, excluded regions and drone insurance. I know you can't answer me, but just a question. How many of you have an insurance background? And how many of you are a pilot? Do you know where to look? And did you know that a current certificate needs to be on board when you fly? If you're a pilot, do you check your aircraft papers before flight? Many people say they are not familiar with insurance. However, we use insurance every day for our car, for our house, for traveling. Let's explain a bit more about liability insurance in aviation. In most countries, it's compulsory to have a minimum of liability insurance for any aircraft, including drones. Liability covers your damage to third-party property and personal injury to others. It's important to understand that this excludes owners and own equipment damaged. However, on an aircraft, crew and pilots can be insured with an extra cover. And ground property can be insured via normal insurance. An example of damage would be towing your aircraft out of the hangar and damaging another aircraft, or with your drone, flying against third-party property and damaging it. The height of the liability limit is defined by the weight of the aircraft or drone in the European Union under the 785/2004 rule. The minimal liability for aircraft under 500 kilos, which includes most drones, is €1 million or 750,000 SDR. The heavier the aircraft, the higher the premium. Having damage is always traumatic, and it's a human nature that you want to solve it as soon as possible. However, if you have a liability accident, for example, as a pilot, you hit a runway light, please promise me to never sign a document with the airport authorities for extra liability claims, for example, delays because of the repair of the runway lights. Contact your aviation broker and together you will handle the situation, which starts with pictures and filing a claim form. Excluded regions. Aviation insurance is based on ship insurance by Lloyd's of London, far back in history. The captains and owners would meet in the Lloyd's Cafe and talk about their current fleet. They started a system where a fund was set up for damaged or lost ships, so ship owners wouldn't go bankrupt or lose their cargo, ships and business. This is the fundament of all aviation policies, and also the reason why much ship terminology in aviation insurance is ship-related, like captain, hull, wreck, steering hut, cabin crew, etc. In those days, there were regions that were too dangerous to go to, and they were excluded, and Lloyd's members would not sign for that risk. It's the same, unfortunately, today. On the basic schedules, there's a lot of excluded regions on the standard cover. It is sometimes possible to get permission to include a region that is excluded on a normal schedule. For ferry purposes, usually it's possible to get an extra cover for a region. Insurance companies need to know exactly who's flying the aircraft, where the ferry flight is, when the ferry flight is taking place, and from where to where this event is happening. In case people are disappointed that their region is an excluded region, do remember that policy conditions were made years ago, and that it would take a complete legal department to make a small change in a policy. My advice would be to talk to your insurance broker and see what they can do for you. Now, the drone sector and sustainable aviation. The drone sector is a very alive and visionary sector to work with, and very atypical from the normal aviation clients we have. Our clients vary from professional filmers to inside tank inspectors, agricultural and building inspections, large events like the Formula 1 and sport events, FPV pilots and hydrogen cargo drones. We are also involved in covering test and experimental drones, autonomous drones, both fetal as fixed wing or a combination of that. We offer liability and hull solutions, as well as professional indemnity and product liability and privacy invasion. Our clients fly all over the world, but there are excluded regions. So check this before accepting a project. The takeaway I would like to give to drone pilots also is make sure that the client you're flying for has the right permissions and allowance for you to fly, both national as foreign. Check the airspace thoroughly. Make sure that you comply to all the things before flight. Our cover is worldwide and includes travel, transport, theft, flyaway and regular damages. Remember that on most normal insurances, aviation equipment is excluded. This is where we can help and assist you. This concludes my talk today. Thank you very much for listening and have a great conference in Libya.